Hey, all, thanks for listening. This is from a past episode that we did, and we're going to go ahead and play it because of our missed schedule this week. But I hope you all enjoy, and thanks for listening again.
Bye.
Hello? Bye.
Hello.
Hello?
What?
Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to be talking about a Japanese cult that involves death and other mature content. If you do not want your children to be listening to it, well, here's your warning.
Blah.
Have a great day.
So how about them cultists?
Yeah, I'm actually interested. This is the segment. Before we get in, we're going to give you one last warning. Adults, if you're in the room, listen to this segment before and make a judgment if you have kids listening. We don't know how deep this is going to get.
I mean, it's not terrible, but I know there's
but still.
several.
Some people kind of
There's several young kids that have listened to our one episode.
No, we have two up if you're on YouTube.
Well, two up now.
Yeah.
But so I mean, it's there's nothing graphic. There's nothing graphic. I'm not going to go into that or nothing like that.
Man.
But I mean, it does talk about death, and so if you don't want your kids to listen to that, I mean,
Is it the Yakuza?
no.
Good. We don't want them on our tail.
So, we have a Japanese death cult that I'm going to talk about today.
Oh.
Similar to ones that we've had here in the U.S., except this one is
Japanese.
yes, but this one's like massive, okay? This is more massive than any cult that we have had in the U.S.
Really?
Massive.
Okay.
This went from just a few people, a few small people,
Yeah.
blown up to I think about 10,000 in Japan, and then it blew up even bigger into a worldwide phenomenon.
Is it still a thing?
I think it is, but I think they rebranded.
Scientology.
Yeah, I can't really remember what they were called, but
They got Tom Cruise.
I never really went into that to see if they were still here or not. So the sarin gas attack in Tokyo, which occurred on March 20th, 1995, which isn't too long ago, but in 1995, 30 years ago, is one of the most horrific acts of domestic terrorism in Japan's modern history. We have 9/11. 9/11 was an inside job. We have 9/11, and they have the sarin gas attacks. Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Who did it? You're keeping me in suspense. Who did it?
So the sarin gas attack in Tokyo, which occurred on March 20th, 1995, is one of the most horrific acts of domestic terrorism in Japan's modern history. It was carried out by a Japanese doomsday cult called, forgive me for the pronunciation here, but Aum Shinrikyo. I'm gonna
Shiriko.
get the old phone out here, and
Aum Shinrikyo.
that's what it's.
Thank you, Google.
Yeah, good old
Googles.
bot voice. And it resulted in the deaths of 13 people, which doesn't sound like a lot. However, it affected 6,000 people. 6,000 people got injured from this.
What kind of gas did they use? Like tear gas? Or
Sarin gas.
I don't know what that is, to be honest with you.
So, glad you asked. This gas was developed by the Germans in World War II.
Oh, so they're Nazis too.
Well, no. But this specific gas is one of the deadliest gases that a human can breathe in so far.
Oh, really?
I'm guessing they were in an open area, and that's the reason why it didn't.
No. The reason why it didn't work as effective was because it wasn't very pure.
Oh.
It wasn't very pure. So, but here's a more detailed account of the actual event. So the cult its meaning is supreme truth. That's what it translates to English. But it was a religious group founded in 1980s by Shoko Asahara. That's a good pronunciation of that. Shoko Asahara. And it was initially the group combined elements of Hinduism, Buddhism, and Christianity also. But it gradually became more radical in adopting apocalyptic beliefs and prompting a vision of an impending global catastrophe.
So is there like a main guy?
Yeah, that's Shoko Asahara. A little bit of background before I go into more of this. So he was born in 1955, and he was born with one eye completely blind and the other eye he could barely see out of. And ever since he was young, he started to become a con artist, right? He was able to get money out of his classmates, and that habit just continued to roll and develop and so on and so forth, to the point where he even started making fake cures, like, snake oil cures and stuff like that, to the point where the Chinese, oh my God, the Japanese government had to step in and close him down, shut him down, because number one, he wasn't licensed, and he was selling these quote cures to the public.
Snake oil salesman.
Yeah. Number two, none of his cures were tested. So he had developed his charisma over the years of manipulating people and conning people. And so after they canceled him on this with the magical cures, whatever, he opened up a yoga. What would it be called? A yoga
studio?
Studio. Yeah.
Dude, that's quite a pivot.
Yeah, I know. But he focused it with, just building up a few clients here and there, and then he started saying that he was a spiritual healer.
That's you throw that spiritual around.
Yeah. And so then he started going into all this crazy stuff.
Why couldn't he heal his one eye then?
But he started saying that he was, I think he was starting to say that he was Jesus or something like that, or the reincarnation of Jesus or something like that, whatever. So, like I said earlier, he built this up over the course of years, and he first started this in 1989. That's when he first started.
So roughly mid-30s.
Yeah.
He really kicked it off.
Yeah. So he started in 1989, and it just started blowing up and getting bigger and bigger and bigger. But what was unique about this specific cult was he wasn't just focusing on the average person, but he was going after pretty wealthy people. He was going after doctors, engineers, scientists,
sounds
chemists.
Like Scientology so much.
Yeah. He started going after all these very influential people, and it got to the point where he literally had his fingers in everything. He had some people in the government. He had some people in police stations. And he petitioned the Japanese government to make his religion an official religion. Because after World War II, Japan rewrote their constitution. And in that constitution, they said that they cannot discriminate against religion, which they did. I mean, it was big enough, and so they said, okay, sure, we'll make it an official religion. So he started getting the tax breaks and everything else, and started to be recognized. Well, just like with most cults, he started getting manipulative, really manipulative with his power. He started.
Is that when like the attacks started?
Not yet.
Okay.
He started to torture people and call it training, and to make it to the next level, to essentially,
Was it like malicious? Like he just wanted to mess with people kind of stuff?
It
Or was he,
basically-
in his mind, actually, this is making them tougher?
That's what he told them.
Yeah, yeah.
But-
did he actually believe that, or was
I don't know. I mean,
Probably.
because it could go either way.
yeah.
Yeah.
I know that there's religious cult leaders that think that A, everything that they're saying is real, or B, they know that they're making it all up.
Right.
But he started getting really malicious and started beating people and torturing people, and he started growing in power and influence. And of course, this is a doomsday cult. So just like Waco here in the U.S., I forgot what that cult was called.
I don't know.
But anyway,
I just heard about them.
Huh?
So we just heard about them, or I did. I assume you
Is
heard
that the
about
one where they all
Oh.
drank the Kool-Aid?
oh yeah.
it. No, literally we
That's
just...
a different one.
Okay.
Waco was down in Texas, and
The ATF.
ATF, and it was a brutal story. I'm not going to go into that either.
Yeah.
That's too much time.
Okay.
And not a good story.
Yeah. So, but similarly to Waco, it was a doomsday cult, and they were going to be the ones that survived it. Okay, so they started stockpiling munitions, and which I don't know. They started buying them off the black market because Japan, you're not allowed to own firearms, but they started buying them off the black market and started building up arsenal and started making weapons, and they started dabbling with chemical gases.
Okay.
This is how the sarin gas comes involved.
How do you set that all up, though? It's like,
He grabbed all these high-profile people, doctors, engineers, so on and so forth. They're upper-class, wealthy
yeah.
people. They gave him all their money. He spent $50 million creating a lab to produce these gases,
So how
these
does he?
chemicals.
I'm just trying to think. Like, how do you bring that to people? Because obviously, I don't understand how cults work, but it's like, okay, we need money. Does nobody just like raise their hand and be like, well, what are we doing? What's the money going to?
People get caught up, man.
Yeah, cults are dangerous because you kind of don't question anything because you just
Yeah, just go.
you're
with the flow.
brainwashed, right? Like there are people who leave their family, like the people that love them and they've known their whole lives, they get so convinced that the cult is better
Yeah.
than them that they like, no, you're trying to hold me back, and they'll
Yeah.
Right.
denounce their family. So like they don't.
Yeah. And it
Care.
started, and as the years goes by, it gets bigger and bigger, and then it's up to about 30,000 people in Japan alone, not including around the world. And it starts getting so bad with the tortures and everything else, and people started spending more time at the main facility, that the families start getting involved, and they start begging their kids, their mothers, their fathers, so on and so forth, to come out of the building and come home. And there was video footage of it that I saw, and there were, I don't know, probably anywhere between 10 to 30 people out there with
Wow.
bullhorns and with signs begging their family members to come home. But he refused. He did not let them leave. And it got to the point where one man tried to escape, and the other members killed him.
Oh wow.
And so this started becoming a very, very tight-knit community, which is pretty hard when there's 30,000 people. But those that started to question the cult leader, Asahara, then he started to beat them and torture them and so on and so forth.
So it just keeps going up and up and up.
Yeah, it keeps escalating.
Was the gas attack, was that their biggest?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
So
I'm
after that,
I'm getting to all that. I'm getting to all
okay,
that.
go ahead.
It starts getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and they start developing these gases. They start going through cyanide and several other gases.
Did
Several
they
other
test them
chemicals.
on
Yes.
themselves or their
No.
own?
They tried to test them going into neighborhoods and letting the gas out.
Oh wow.
Into
It's
the
even
neighborhoods.
worse.
Yes. And none of the gases did the results that they wanted. So they kept trying.
Well, did nobody notice that happened?
No, because the the gases didn't produce any effects to people that they were trying.
They were very
So
bad.
no one even knew that.
Like I said, the chemist that they had on hand was good enough to create it, but wasn't good enough to refine it.
Well, I'm just thinking, how do you release gases in multiple neighborhoods? I mean, I'm assuming not at the same time.
Not at the same time.
But
no,
how do you release gases and there's no...
Well,
even if it doesn't have the effects you want, how is there no anything that nobody detects it? And it's like,
well, they're
what is
driving.
this?
So they're driving around in vans and they're letting it out as they're driving, and so it's not like a big cloud coming out. From
yeah,
the back
well,
of
I'm
the-
just saying,
of-
like,
of
there
the
was some
van.
sort of effects and someone look into it and be like, something weird happened here.
Well, there wasn't any effects. That's what I'm saying. They didn't.
So they were bad at their job at first.
Nobody knew. And if you're exposed to these gases in small amounts, you'll only get like a headache or a little bit of cough or something like that. They'll just think that you're
Just
a little sick. But they even got to the point where they started buying military equipment from other countries on the black market.
Oh, wow.
And they even were thinking about dabbling in creating a nuclear weapon.
Somehow I knew that's what you were about to
Yes.
say.
Dude.
So this was a very serious cult.
This is like Mission Impossible type
Yeah.
cult.
Well, of course, from what this guy was indoctrinating into them, they were going to create the end of the world, and they were the only ones going to be alive at the end.
Okay,
basically.
so that was one of my questions. Is like, okay, he's convincing all these people to do this for
Yeah.
basically we're going to be the new, for lack of a better term, the new Adam and Eve and start over.
Right.
Okay.
So before this main attack, they finally developed the sarin gas. They finally developed it. So they decided to test it. They went into another neighborhood, but this one was deliberately targeted because there were 3 judges that were threatening to take away their property, I think is the best way I can explain it. They were threatening to take away their home.
So they go after the judges.
So they were going after the judges with
Wow.
this gas. Except they didn't, for some reason, take into account the wind direction. And it went to the opposite side of the neighborhood. And I can't remember if there was deaths involved, but there was definitely several injuries involved. And they couldn't figure out what happened. And until they finally realized after lots of tests that it was this gas. But they didn't hit their targets, which was the 3 judges. But they knew that the gas was strong enough and potent enough to be able to cause this damage on people.
That's crazy.
So, after that, a year later, fast forward a year later, in 1995, a police officer that they had embedded into the cult told the leader and warned them that the police were going to come after you. They have a warrant. And
so was
they're
he a
going to,
double agent?
Yeah. Well, he was a member of this cult, which was an official religion. So he could have
Right.
he could have not told them that he was a part of this religion,
Yeah.
which I'm assuming that they didn't know that he was a part of it because he was in the law enforcement and they were telling him about this. So I'm obviously assuming. So the cop goes to him and to Asahara and said, hey, they're going to do a raid on this place. And so he said, okay, now's the time. And he told the chemist, he said, create as much as you can. So he created 10 liters worth of this sarin gas in liquid form. So they devised the plan to go to the Tokyo trains subway system. And there was 5 men, and they went on 5 different planes. Wow. 5 different trains. And Each man had a bag of the liquid gas, and their plan was to stab the bag with the umbrella a few times, let the liquid leak and evaporate into the gas, and walk off the train. So that's what happened. The 5 men went on the 5 trains. They stabbed the bags and they walked off.
Did they die?
No. They like stabbed it right before the doors open, and when they stabbed it, they walked off. So this gas, sarin gas, is very potent. Like I said, it is one of the most potent gases known to man. So as soon as they stab the bag, it's everybody immediately feels the effects. And the ones closest to it, ones closest to the bags, sadly, die pretty quickly. And what this gas does, it affects the nervous system. And you start coughing, it gets in your lungs, and then you start having seizures, and then you suffocate. Yeah. So
it just shuts you down.
Yeah, shuts you down. But the reason why it only killed 13 is because it wasn't pure. It wasn't distilled down to its purest form. The chemist wasn't the best at it, so that's how.
So they were lucky.
Yeah, if it wasn't its purest form, there would be a lot more deaths. But
wow,
the problem is that people were walking in and off on the train. Now, what I haven't said is this is peak rush hour at 8 a.m. Everybody's going to work. The Tokyo subway system, as of now, I don't know what it was then, but as of now, 9 million people travel on it a day.
I'm sure it was probably like 3-4 at least.
I was hearing numbers anywhere between 3,000 and 6,000 were affected, all the way from life-threatening injuries all the way to just a very mild cough.
Is there like ways to recover from it? That
yes.
If you don't get a lethal dose, that would be horrible. If you just somehow like your lungs are wrecked or your nervous system's wrecked. I believe
it just works its way out of you. I mean, I saw video footage of it. There was like massive portable hospitals at the train station, at the subway station. I mean, thousands upon thousands first responders out there trying to figure out what was going on. They had the military out there with gas masks and going through from train car to train car.
Not to mention, like, they probably discarded some train cars.
I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know how hard it is or easy it is to clean it. I don't know if it's just a simple
evaporates
scrub down.
Away.
I don't know.
That's crazy though.
But
how did they trace it back to this?
Great question. So one of the men that was part of it, he was having second thoughts even before he went on to the train. And he was a former heart surgeon getting on there with this bag. And he was debating about doing it or not over and over and over again. But he said the reason why he did it is because if he didn't do it and he tried to run away,
they would kill him.
They would find him and kill him.
He's too high profile.
Yeah, they would find him, kill him, or find him, torture him, and he wouldn't.
Oh boy,
wouldn't see anything. Anybody. So that's what kept him to go, because he was in too deep already. So he went in and he stabbed the bag one time, and left. And he went home and he turned on the TV. And when he turned on the TV, he saw all the disaster, everybody coughing, everybody spitting up blood, and so on and so forth. And he couldn't deal with it. He couldn't handle it, knowing that he just took part of the biggest terrorist attack in Japan's history, affecting thousands of lives. So the next day, he called the police station, told him his name, and turned himself in. And he gave up everything.
So that's where it started crumbling.
Yeah, he gave up everything.
Well, I mean, I don't want to say good on him for doing the turning in part, but at least he had a conscience.
If he
of
could have
some
done
sort.
that instead of going in the first place.
Yeah.
If he could have said,
Yeah.
gone to the police with the bag and it's like,
Yep.
Like, here's the proof. This is
and
what
been
they're
like,
doing.
hey, I need protection.
Yeah.
I don't know. It may not have been that easy because the Japanese have a different culture, and also it was even in the 90s, which in and of itself was a different culture. So for all I know, the police may have either not have been helpful to him and kept him safe.
Or just arrested him.
Or, like I said before, he had policemen that were part of the cult also.
Obviously, yeah.
Yeah,
So
that
if he
too.
was in the interrogation room, one of the policemen come in there, kill him.
30,000 people where most of your people are well off, high positions.
Yeah.
Like,
But like,
who knows who he
if
has.
he could have tried that, it might have been better for him. But who knows?
so,
I mean, he could have almost been scot-free of any charge.
yeah.
At least in American law card.
So I'm assuming from there they find the leader.
Yeah.
How
So,
many of the people were actually arrested?
I have that written down here. So the main leader was Shoko. He was arrested in May 1995, and he was charged with multiple counts of murder, including the Tokyo subway attack, because he also had a few members that he killed also.
Yeah.
And there was also a family, too. I can't remember who they were, but he also had a hit done on a family, a man, his wife, and their young infant child.
Oh, this guy's
So
a psycho.
that was also another murder done. But in total, 13 members were convicted for their involvement in the
what
subway
a psycho.
attack. And several of them were sentenced to death, including Asahara.
Okay.
I'm
So-
assuming that's happened by now.
I would
Yeah.
hope so.
I don't know how they're
30
turnout
years
on-
ago.
I'm assuming most countries that have the death penalty are more efficient than the U.S.
I would hope so. I mean,
I have mixed opinions, but we won't go
Yeah.
into that because we need time for Vandy
I have mixed opinions about the death
to scare us
penalty
with his
too.
libraries.
But
libraries.
so there are only 13 members that were arrested. I mean, if you think about it,
So the rest that gave money,
they,
I don't know how I feel about that.
as far as they should have been arrested.
Well, let me put it. I don't know.
It depends on what they knew, and you can't really
Yeah.
prove definitively in
I
most
thought
cases.
I was giving my money to a church,
I mean,
and then the pastor's out there just doing whatever. Essentially, sounds what's going on there.
To answer your question and your question when they were sentenced to death, Shoko was convicted of multiple murders and other crimes and was sentenced to death in 2004.
Okay.
So 9 years after the incident. And his death sentence was carried out in 2018.
I
So
wonder how Japan's whole, like we have in the past, we've had the electric chair, we've had all these other ways, and now we have lethal injections. Is that how he went?
don't know.
Should have gassed him.
Katana.
Yeah, something. I don't know.
Yeah, fight to death the samurai. If you win, you get your freedom.
No.
Well, that'd be pretty rough for him, considering he was blind.
You know,
Depth,
well,
depth perception's
sure
off.
thought about that.
yeah. So I mean, that's pretty much what I have. But they
That's wild.
after this, they made sure that the first responders and military was prepared for another attack for copycatters.
Yeah, and the remaining cult. You never know.
So, as of right now, I don't think there was another incident of a gas attack. I could be wrong.
See, if that happens, I certainly hope that the rest of the world and Japan label these people as terrorists. Or the cult or whatever.
Oh, the cult?
Yeah.
Could be. Like I said, when I was looking up for the pronunciation of it,
Yeah.
the one website said that X name, whatever it was, formerly known as this cult, which is the one I'm talking about. So I'm assuming that they're still around. Probably not as big.
Yeah,
but
I would hope not.
I mean, it's still. I mean, if they practice the same thing, it's still a doomsday cult.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, I don't care what you believe whatever you want to believe at that point, but don't go killing people.
But this was the first sarin gas attack ever on civilians outside of war, and nobody was prepared for it because nobody thought that anyone would do such a thing. So
it's against the Geneva War Convention, I think.
Yeah,
certain gases.
It is now, and after World War I, they created that, put that in clause that hasn't stopped people from later on from doing that, but it's part of the Geneva Code. So but this was the first time that it was ever used outside of war, but just as a terrorist attack. So it's very impactful to people. I mean, it wasn't that long ago. It was only 30 years ago, just a little over 30 years ago. So there's still plenty of people within living memory that.
Yeah, I mean, you said he was born in 1955. My father was born in 54, so he probably knows what was going on.
Probably. Well,
I gotta ask.
Yeah, it was the 90s. All of our parents did.
Yeah.
I mean, duh.
I knew. I was 4 years old.
Yeah.
I was 1.
I mean, it made global headlines around the world because...
I'm going to ask them about that. Like, hey, you remember this guy, this gas attack in Tokyo, right?
Could have been. Yeah, Tokyo.
That's crazy.